producer here at Steelhouse.
This is your second visit to the Steelhouse. What have you been up to since last time?
Where do you start? Doesn't feel like a long time, but whenever you look back, 2 years is a long time. Let me think. I suppose we just released our third record back then, Revival.
Yeah.
Because remember we were blasting a load of songs from that record back 2 years ago. So, I mean, since then, obviously we've released our fourth record, New Horizon.
Yeah.
Done an awful lot of touring, a bunch more festivals, and just kept busy really.
Yeah.
I mean, at this moment in time, we're kind of reaching the end of the New Horizon campaign. We've been touring pretty constantly for the last 9 months, and we're using this festival season to kind of get the next record up and running, and that we obviously have a few days during the week when we're not playing gigs, and we get back into the studio and get the material out there and start building up a body of work. So
have you got that sort of all written, ready to record?
I'd say we've got about 70 or 80% of it written at this moment in time. And obviously, all being well, if the juices continue to flow, by the end of the summer we'll have a record, and the plan is to head into the studio very soon after the summer season finishes. So just kind of because we feel like with all the touring and the release of New Horizon, we feel like there's a bit of good momentum going right now, and we want to just keep that going. Yeah.
You recorded an album in America. Were you recording this one there, or?
To be honest, I have no idea where we'll be recording it at the moment. This week is the first week we sent out, 6 tracks, 6 demos to different producers.
Yeah.
So we'll see who comes back, who's interested, and who has a vision for the album, and it normally depends on where those guys like to work out of.
Yeah.
I mean, so far we've done one in London, we've done one in El Paso, Texas. We've done one in a tiny village called Fladbury, Worcestershire, and we've done one in LA as well. So I don't know.
So you actually go for the producer rather than the studio?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the producer knows what he or she likes.
Yeah.
And they're not going to pick a bad studio. So you normally place your trust in the guy that you've got doing the job.
Yeah. I suppose they're the pros on the other.
Yeah.
Would you rather play these big festivals or small intimate venues?
I think we have a nice balance of both, really. In that, an intimate gig, 400 or 500 people right on top of you. I mean, it depends. Even the intimate venues, the actual venue needs to be right. It needs to feel like there's people.
Yeah.
Kind of about to fall onto the stage, to me to really make it properly intimate, and they're great. I love those gigs. A lot of fun. You can, see the whites of the eyes. You can strike up a relationship with your audience.
Yeah.
The bigger festivals, you're not going to get that intimacy. But the flip side is, a festival crowd is a great crowd, a fun crowd, open-minded. They're there to see a lot of different kinds of bands, a lot of different kinds of music, and it's it's in some ways easier to make a connection with an audience that are there, just wanting to be entertained and wanting to have a good time, and they're more willing to kind of lend themselves to the music and that. So, I mean, we play in front of 20 people, we play in front of 20,000, It's no different. Our attitudes never change, we just get out there and give it what we've got, and we enjoy both ends of the scale in that respect.
What's the best thing and the worst thing about touring?
I suppose the best thing about touring is that you're literally living that boyhood dream, it's the ultimate cliche, but you're out there, you're living on a bus, you're traveling, you're in a different city every day, you're getting up there and you're playing music for a living. and you know, all the different experiences that go along with that just all kind of feeds into this overall massive you know, journey, you know, both metaphorically and physically, and that, you know, that's always just been such a draw for me. It's you know, I constantly find myself even still kind of just taking a step back and trying to soak it all in, thinking, you know, this is what we do here. I mean, I find that the downside of touring is that you're in this bubble, and every now and again, like maybe once a tour, the bubble bursts for a few hours whenever, I don't know, I think, you know, every night all the adrenaline in your body's building up, and just I would have a once in a tour crash. You know, whenever I just kind of, I'm totally, my body's just empty of any kind of adrenaline, any kind of emotion really, you know, and it's a bit of a downer, you know, and it always happens on a day off. It never happens on a gig day. It's because your body, you're just kind of locked into this way of doing things, and that's never a good feeling, but it's just the way it is.
Do you get to see a lot when you're on tour, or do you just sort of roll up playing and off to the next venue?
Well, if you're doing a tour on a bus, you do see a bit, because, you know, you're travelling through the night and you wake up the next day and you're in the city, and you've got a few hours between then and sound checking and whatever press you have to do, where you can go and have a look around. And you know, then there's whatever city you're lucky enough to have your day off on, you obviously get a look around, sample the local beverages and stuff like that.
Do you find when you're walking around, a lot of people recognise you?
It kind of depends where we are, you know. I'm by no means mobbed in the street whenever I go for a cup of coffee, you know, but you know, if it's a gig day and we're you know, in the city, you know, different, you know, you can normally tell who you're kicking around, and they're going to see the answer that night, you know.
So you see the tour shirts and whatnot.
You see the tour shirts and you see the leather, and you get sometimes you get an annoying wink, other times you get a kind of, is it okay to get a picture, you know, other times like, hey man, come on for a pint, you know. So I mean, that's all. I mean, I love that aspect of kind of getting to know our audience and meeting some good people out there.
You've played all over the world. What's been the best place you've played, and why?
I'd probably say Japan. Just because of the difference of it all, you know, it's just it's
they love their rock music, don't they?
They do, but it's like such an alien place compared to walking around Belfast, for example. You know, it's just like, you know, it's like a scene in a Blade Runner sometimes. It's so futuristic, and the Japanese are so ahead of their game. You know, it's like, it's an assault on the senses really, all the technology and the bright lights and the noise. It's just a fantastic experience, but the actual gigs themselves, the audiences are like no other rock audience, you know. During the music, from the first crack of the snare to the last kind of cymbal crash, the audience are just going completely bonkers, you know. And then I'll go to talk in between songs, and the whole audience will just hush down, you know. The crowd surfers will just kind of get down and stand respectfully and listen to what I have to say, you know. That's sometimes a little bit intimidating, but really cool and interesting at the same time.
Certainly different.
Yeah.
How well has the new album been received, and how have you fitted it into the new sort of track list in the Play Live?
Yeah, it's been received very well, I think. I mean, we spent the last 9 months playing at least half the record every night, and we've no complaints so far, so yeah, I think it's slotted in nicely, you know. I mean, we've never written any record that's been so much of a departure that it's not going to work alongside some of our other music, you know.
Do you find then when you drop, you obviously have to drop, if you play 6 songs, you've got to drop 6 of your old songs. Do you vary that, or have you got the same set right the way through the tour?
No, we would vary it a bit just for our own sanity more than anything else. And also, you know, we're very aware that there's a lot of people travel to maybe 3 or 4 shows on a tour. Some people do much more than that as well. So you kind of need to change the set just so that they're not seeing exactly the same show every night, you know.
But they still come anyway.
They still come anyway, thankfully. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the set list, it's in a good place.
Yeah. What's the hardest song to play live? Or do you avoid it?
To be honest, we probably don't play it.
No.
If it's too hard to play live. No, there's a song on Everyday Demons called Pride, and the chorus is this big, high, kind of sweeping chorus. You know, it's just the one word. It's just the word pride, but it takes a lot out of me to be able to kind of hold it in that register for so long. You know, which is one of the reasons we don't play it that often. But it's a particularly tough one. And generally, I mean, I need to get up there and perform for an hour and a half, you know, so I'm not going to foolishly throw a song in there that's going to destroy me for the rest of the gig, you know, because, you know, it's important that the gig is well paced in that respect.
You were here last time, you had Lynn join you on stage. It worked really well. You got any plans to do anything with perhaps Lynn or someone else? Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't rule it out at all. Lynn's a very talented singer and songwriter, and actually the last State House Festival was the one and only time we've ever got Lynn up on stage to do that song live, you know, because obviously they were playing on the same bill that day, so it worked out really well. But yeah, I mean, with regards to duets and experimenting with other people, you know, we're a very open-minded bunch of guys, you know, and definitely we never rule anything out like that.
Would that be something you would go and pursue someone to work with, or wait for someone to give you the offer?
It depends, you know, sometimes people come to you with ideas, sometimes we go to them with ideas, and just whatever way it works.
Yeah. You once covered an Aerosmith song, Sweet Emotion. Do you play the old cover, and is there anything you would like to cover?
You know, we haven't played that one in a while, and I've been kind of, because we did Download Festival this year, and Aerosmith were obviously headlining on Sunday night. I thought it might have been a good opportunity to do that one, but we only got 40 minutes set, so we really had to be very selective about the songs that we picked for a 40-minute set, so it didn't happen. But definitely in the future, yeah, there's every possibility we play it again. The most recent, we covered quite a lot of tunes actually, just for a bit of fun for us, you know, like every record, probably you're going to get one bonus track, you know, that goes out along with a single or on a bonus disc of the record. It's going to be a cover, you know. On Revival we did Fire and Water. This time around we've actually covered Rory Gallagher's Cradle Rock, which is something that I'd been wanting to do for a while, and we played it live actually a good few times on the last tour. But yeah, I mean, we're always, me personally, I'm always on the lookout for a song that I think will make a really great job of kind of bringing something different to the song, because I think it's important that you make it your own rather.
I like that when a band covers something, and you think, I like that, rather than just cover it exactly.
Rather than just do it like a band in your local pub on a Friday night.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Do you ever get any feedback from the bands that likes of Aerosmith? Have they ever said to you, we like what you've done?
Yeah, Paul Rogers actually. We've covered a couple. I mean, he's my favourite singer in the world, so we've covered a couple of free songs in the past, and one of which actually he sings on a live bootleg that we did one time, and he said on a few occasions that we definitely do his songs justice. You know, and that's
quite a compliment, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, for sure.
What's the most embarrassing thing that's happened to you as a band?
I'm not sure. I mean, you're kind of leaving yourself open to many, the whole spectrum of embarrassments that could possibly come your way in a band. But I remember one time Mickey, we were playing a gig in Reading, and Mickey jumped off the bass drum and just fell on his arse.
Yeah.
And did the rest of the song laying on his back, trying, like, just his last gasp at salvaging some pride, you know, trying to make it look like he was doing it on purpose, you know. I just remember looking around, where's Mickey gone? Oh, he's down there, you know. But,
how do you write your songs as a band?
It varies.
You've not got a set sort of go into the studio or go in the tour bus and work on?
No, because all four of us like to have a go at the songwriting, so sometimes one of us will come in with a song that kind of we feel isn't too far off the mark, you know, and everybody will have the opportunity to contribute and see if they can make that song better. Sometimes, like on a tour, there's very often when we're sound checking, there'll be a few riffs will jump out, just from the guys just messing about, and we'll kind of capture those riffs on the tour and then bring them into our studio whenever it comes to the writing process.
Do you ever, when you're touring, do you ever hear like a support band play something? I like that riff, we'll have that.
The support band?
Yeah.
No. No, we do not rip off support band riffs. No, we've never done that actually, but I don't know, you'd probably have to ask some of the bands that have supported us as well, they've done that themselves.
Is there any song you wish you'd written?
Loads. Yeah, I mean a lot of different tunes actually. I mean they get a bit of stick for it from an originality point of view, but I love the way Led Zeppelin took kind of traditional blues songs and kind of reworked them and added to them to turn them into songs of their own, you know. So there's a lot of that early Led Zeppelin stuff that I would have loved to have written.
Yeah. Be a very rich man if you had as well.
Yeah, would it be? Yeah.
What's the first album you ever bought, and do you still have it?
You know, the first album I ever bought was a cassette of Slippery When Wet.
Yeah.
I know I don't still have it.
No.
Nothing against the record, you know, it's definitely not the worst Bon Jovi record out there. But no, I mean, that was a long time ago.
Yeah. What's the most recent album you've purchased, and do you download or buy the CDs?
I generally still buy CDs actually, just because I don't know, well, it is old fashioned in many respects, but I like to just have the physical copy in my hand.
Yeah, I'm the same.
I like to read who produced it. I like to see what the band looked like a lot of the time because I don't know what they look like. I like to see what kind of artwork's going on there. Just even because of, you know, I almost use it as research for whenever it comes to our own packaging, you know, just to see what what ways different bands have gone about presenting their material. So the last one I got was Cadillac 3.
Right.
Tennessee Mojo is the name of the record. Just came recommended, you know, and from a guy whose opinion I would trust, and I hadn't heard a single note.
Yeah.
But I ordered the CD, and you know, I like playing my music in the car, you know, because I can turn it up as loud as I want. And, you know, that little space is my own. And I stuck it on, and it hasn't been out of my CD player
Just
since.
to check that one out then.
Yeah, for sure.
What would your dream job be if you weren't in the music business?
I honestly don't know, man. I mean, this is my dream job, and people ask me what would it be if I wasn't a musician, and I honestly had no idea.
Did you have any jobs before?
No, because the band kind of started to take off pretty soon after I finished university. I went to University of Paul, actually, in Belfast. And that's when the band was formed, and then it just kind of, after uni, I worked a bar job just to obviously have a few pound in my pocket. And then whenever the band took off, you know, that was the end of that job, and I've never really had a...
You went to uni, you obviously planning on doing something else, or did you do music at uni?
I did ethnomusicology and English as well. So both of which have obviously fed into this career, you know.
Yeah, perfect.
So yeah.
Do you have any superstitions before you go on stage or in general?
I'm a superstitious man, like, you know. I don't know whether it's because I've been listening to too much Howlin' Wolf or whether it's because I'm Irish or what it is, but yeah, I have routines for everything.
Yeah.
And going on stage is no different, you know, like I'll not change into my stage attire until like the clock strikes an hour before the show.
Yeah.
I'll start warming up at that point. You know, I'll take a few liquids and like get myself prepared the way I do, the same way every gig.
Yeah.
And you know, if I see a magpie within that space of time, there's no point in going on because it's going to be a tired show.
Yeah. So there's none around today.
Yeah.
Right, a few quick fire ones now. Favourite food?
Curry, Indian curry.
Favourite place?
New York City.
Favourite person?
My wife. Of course.
Favourite band?
Free.
Favourite decade?
Tough one.
You don't have to have been around when it was on.
Yeah.
Obviously you wouldn't know anything about it if you weren't
I'm
there.
going to say the 60s then.
Yeah. Whiskey or vodka?
Whiskey.
Lager or cider?
Lager.
Rum or coke?
Both.
Together. Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Metal or thrash?
Again, a little bit of both.
Yeah, just in the middle.
Yeah.
Opera or classical?
Opera or classical? Classical.
Yeah. And rap or dance?
Dance.
I'm sure you say neither. And anything you'd like to plug just to finish up?
Not really, no. I suppose we did, we put a samba version of one of our songs out for the World Cup recently.
Right.
Spectacular, so if you want to check that out, there's like a little kind of mashup of football celebrations and all on there. It's worth a look, you know, it's a bit of fun.
I'll put a link to that on the video.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And just, you know, if you haven't heard New Horizon, check it out.
Right.
And look out for us next year because it's going to be a busy year.
Big tour coming to Cornwall?
Yeah, here's hoping.
Yeah.
Here's hoping.
Fingers crossed.
You know, I don't know if we've ever played in Cornwall. We played in Plymouth, is that Cornwall?
Yeah, no, White Rabbit, that's over the bridge.
That's over the bridge.
Yeah.
Almost Cornwall.
Yeah, close.
But not quite.
Yeah.
That's about as close as we've got, so let's change that.
Yeah, so. Okay, thanks for your time.
Thanks man, cheers.